If you think you're mentally strong, I'm about to tell you something that might gonna piss you off. The motivation that you're relying on is actually making you weaker every single day. And what I'm about to share is gonna trigger a lot of people. But this is what separates the mentally strong from the mentally weak. The real truth about mental strength, and it's not what you think. Some of the most common misconceptions about mental strength is you gotta rely on motivation. I hear this all the time about I'm motivated. At the end of the day, it's just an emotion. It's just an impulsive emotion. You can't stay. It's gonna go in and out. How many times have you started something or been like motivated to do something? You will start and go, start and go. Like that's not motivation. It's inconsistency is what it is. Most of the time when you start off with motivation, and like I said, in the long term, motivation fails you anyway, just because again, you making these resolutions about changing your body and getting better eating habits and hitting this goal and that goal, like it feels great because everybody else is doing it. You feel that energy, you know what I mean? But there's a high chance you won't be consistent because you're relying on that energy to come to you every single time, every single day, while you're thinking about those goals to keep you focused, to keep you going. And then what you'll do is you'll fall into that comfort zone. You start to fall into, I'm watching Netflix. You're too busy watching Netflix. Don't even know you watching Netflix that much. You know, when people always say, I don't never have time, it's because you're not making that thing important. You see what I'm saying? You got the time, you're just not making it important, but the comfort zone is more important to you. Eating foods you shouldn't be eating. You know, eating unconsciously because you're around people who are eating. That's a huge one. You know what I mean? You're doing it by proxy out of the comfort zone of the concept, and you'll fall into this trap, you know, relying on motivation. But you'll have a lot of false signs of motivation too, like what I call toxic positivity. You'll gaslight yourself, like for real. You'll tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you're just mentally thinking about doing it when you're not even like taking the physical action. You got to make movement. You got to use your body. You have to go take the action. Again, that toxic positivity of hyping yourself up, and you just keep hyping yourself up to feel that dopamine rush that you're going to be motivated to do it. That's all. It's all you're doing. It's a mental loop that you'll stay in. You know, trying to like push yourself and go. You gotta go and do it, and gotta go do it with your body, with your hands, with your mind. Think. You see what I'm saying? What real mental strength looks like is when you can pick yourself up when life knocks you down. You know, you're able to bounce back from the heavy struggle, the heavy turmoil, you know, those sleepless nights trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like some of the daily habits you have is what weakens your mind. You know, you'll make deadlines for yourself. I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, but don't even go. You know, again, you staying at home door dashing. You know what I'm saying? Like make these appointments that you know that you're bettering yourself, but don't make them, and don't show up for yourself. You still got to show up for yourself. You can't always show up for fun. You got to show up for what's hard, because what's hard is what's going to teach you to more about life and just grow. You know, you got to show up for what's hard for real. Stop relying on motivation. You got to rely on that discomfort. I hate to say it like that, but that's the reality of it all. Like you got to be comfortable with being discomfort. I mean, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, that's always the path to growth of like you know you can do better. You know you can. You know you can put in more effort. You know that you can put more energy into something that, you know, if you're half stepping or full stepping, if you rather. You know what I mean? And all I'm saying is like see yourself through and focus on that. You can definitely when you're having that level of discomfort, there's always a level of change that happens that comes along with building. True mental fortitude comes down to your daily actions, your daily choices. What are you choosing to do with your mind? You know, are you choosing to think quality thoughts? Are you choosing to learn more things? Are you going to have the effort, to have the desire to do so? You gotta have the desire to want to. You know, it may seem boring at the beginning, but like once you get into the flow of like making yourself do these things. And it's just small things, going to the gym 30 minutes a day or working out at home for 30 minutes a day, whichever one you prefer, just to get you started. It's the small steps. I promise you, it's what you do in the day, and you stack those small wins in the day over time is where you'll see that leap that you made. But you have to start with the small steps and every daily habits, and just building on top of that, and just keep doing it and keep going. Now for the transformation, man, a real test for your mental strength that you're going to build, progressive overload, if you rather. So like for me, I love fitness, I work out, I love the bodybuilding style. So the progressive overload principle applies to fitness the way that it applies to everywhere else in your area of your life. You have to always be trying to add that next 5 pounds if you can. Mentally you can really stretch your mind for real. I got it with the physical. You may not be able to do it like that for real, but like, 'cause at some point you can only do so much with your physical. But like, as far as like your mental, you got to keep adding that 5 pounds as much as you can. How many books can you read? How much information can you consume and execute and try something and do something new? You got to keep adding that 5 pounds in your mind as much as you can. My grandfather instilled to me at a very young age as a kid, like, you should always be learning. You have no reason to ever not learn. And I tell my daughter that every time I drop her off to school, I'm just like, hey, focus and learn everything. Like, you should be progressively overloading your mind with knowledge. You have to learn. That is so serious. And just take that really serious for real. Like, don't waste your supercomputer. This is the supercomputer. Like, don't waste that. And the daily practices for you to build mental strength every single day is for real, going to the gym. Like, I know some people may not like it as much as some people do, but you gotta understand, there's something about, not even something about, when you decide to choose to put yourself through that physical challenge and you come out of that physical challenge, you know that you can start challenging yourself in other ways and areas in your life where you can do the same thing, where you put yourself through that toughness to see who you're going to be outside of that. Every time you choose those workouts where you go in and go out, like, you are, it's therapy, if for lack of a better term, is what it is. Building that mental fortitude that I can do this. When you're choosing that challenge for yourself and you're succeeding, you're accomplishing that, you get that confidence that you're looking for, that mental fortitude, that mental strength that you're really trying to like solidify in your mind. As far as setbacks, the main thing with that is take those as learning lessons. Every L is a lesson. Like, always remember that, and actually look at the L. Don't just be like, oh, it's the L, like, and just like try to like, brush it off. No, you really need to be understanding, like, why was it the L? What could have been better? Things of that nature. And I try to take my L's in my past serious. Like, what could I have done differently? What could I have like, said, didn't like? What could have been a different outcome, a different reaction I could have gave? And just like, now going forward, this is how I want to be, this is how I want to act, this is how I want to react to these problems, these situations, if you rather, and not cause myself unnecessary, toxicity, if you rather. And as you're doing all of this over and over and over on a repetitive basis, you'll have an identity shift. Not like you're becoming fake, but you're becoming the person that you saw yourself you can be. Because you're starting to live as who you are in the present moment. You're starting to see yourself as the way that you've always envisioned when you're doing these things necessary. You're just focused on that. You innately, naturally, if you rather, person you're seeking you can see yourself in your mind is who you start to become in the present. Naturally, by just like doing all of this, doing this routine, repetition every single day. Get that 10,000 hours in, get more hours in, keep going, don't stop. There's no reason to stop, straight up. At this point, understand, you should already know there's no reason to stop. You should be maximizing your time and making yourself as mentally strong and fortifying your mind and making it as tough as you can possibly can. This is the only real computer you really got at the end of the day. This is what you own. Feed it knowledge. And look, before you go, if you're really serious about building unbreakable mental strength, I work with clients one-on-one through my coaching program. All the details are in my bio and in the description. If this message resonated with you, hit the subscribe button and the notification button. I drop videos like this every week. I hope this message finds you well. I'm Fonzie Murph, and I'm out. Peace.